So with having said, we will now begin with our class. Now, this I would like this to be partly a class and partly a discussion. So this is how we will go. We will talk about the verse. I will do the padacheda. It's two very simple, but hidden in amidst this simplicity is that raw emotion itself, which is very evident for those who are already in such a state of being, right? So the lucidity and depth of emotion is the hallmark of this stotra. Once again, it is our Adi Shankaracharya to our rescue who has composed this and tried to put himself in the place of an earnest bhakta or a bhakta. And uh, what such a prayer would sound like is what this Devi aparadha kshamapana stotram is all about. Any inputs so far? Would you like to say something before we begin? Any of you? Please feel free to pitch in. I hope my audio and video are visible. By the way, since I am on a different tab, if you have typed something on the chat, I may not really know it. So I would rather encourage if you could speak up. I think I should first look up the chat if anybody has written something. Okay, let me start. न मन्त्रं नो यन्त्रं तदपि च न जाने स्तुतिमहो न चाह्वानं ध्यानं तदपि च न जाने स्तुतिकथाः न जाने मुद्रास्ते तदपि च न जाने विलपनम् परं जाने मातस्त्वदनुसरणं क्लेशहरणम्. Shubhadeep Varya, would you like to do the Padacheda and then we'll take it from there? Shruyate va? Okay, okay. Okay. Vani Arye, would you like to hazard trying to break this down? Okay, all right. This- let's just try it. Na mantram, no yantram, tat api cha na jane stutim aho. Now, can you continue? Let's see how we fare. Hmm, perfect. Tad api. Hmm, samyak. Hmm, hmm. Mudraha, mudraha te. Sadhu, ati sadhu. न मंत्रम नो यंत्रम तद अपि च न जाने स्तुतिम अहो न जाने. So he is lamenting, the bhakta is lamenting, O mother, Na mantram, I know no mantra. I do not, na jane means I do not know. Na yantram, I do not know all this tantra, mantra business, yantra business. Tadapi na jane stutim. Forget understanding how to do japa and mantra or to craft out a yantra. A yantra is a two-dimensional manifestation. A mantra is a sonic manifestation, right? So something which happens in the mind at the level of thinking and thought is mantra. That which happens at the level of the kaya is yantra, that is as a 2D. And then when it manifests into a three-dimensional shape, it becomes a murti, or a, you could also, in many ways, you could just call it a tantra. So mantra, yantra, and tantra. Na mantram, na yantram api na jane, stutim, aho, aham stutim api na jane, he matah. Aho is an exclamation. Aho, ayo, na cha ahvanam dhyanam tadapi na jane stuti kathaha. Nor do I even know how to do proper ahvana, nor do I understand the concept of an ahvana, dhyana, and other such puja vidhanas. And after having called you into a guest, as a guest, we usually do Stuti Katha, Stotra, Shatanama, Sahasranama, and all these Namavalis we do. So I don't know how to do a Stuti Kathas also. Nor do I know any of your Kathas. Na jane, and who is telling this? This is Adi Shankaracharya himself, who has thoroughly been a Shakta, and the best Shakta out of all Shaktas, the best Shaiva out of all Shaivas, and similarly the best Vaishnava out of all Vaishnavas. Such a person, this is not some false humility, fake humility, modesty that he is putting on, humility he is putting on. But one would rather understand deeply enough that as we keep understanding Vishyas, all these Vidyas slowly, and this is perhaps in the experience of all of you that is there here and the future viewers also, that even if I start studying a certain subject, at the end of whatever 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, we are left with more questions than we began with. So can we really satisfactorily say, I have learned this, right? When can we ever say, I have known this? So Socrates once, his famous, saying is that it is the wise who know that they don't know. So this is one such wise man who is admitting that really speaking, there is no way I can have known any of these subjects truly. And of course, also the ignorant who may not actually know or even have started know, try to make an effort in knowing any of this. Na jane mudraha te. I don't know how to do all these mudras. Mudra is said to be one of the prime components in the Panchamakara. So doing proper gestures in the hand, putting proper asanas to sit. Just as asanas are important to yoga, mudras are also similarly important to the path of the Kaula Tantra, the Tantras. Nor do I know any of these mudras, hand gestures, or other gestures, which are said to represent some aspect of geometry of the universe, replicating which you're trying to resonate with that energy. Tadapicha na jane vilapanam. Forget any of this. Let's say at least, any of these texts, these bhakti oriented texts, they say, Are, just cry to the Lord, just pray to the Lord and admit all your flaws, uh, confess, and then you will have, if you have contrition, you will be forgiven. This is how it works in many religions across faiths and countries and civilizations. So that vilapanam, that is crying to the Lord with a fervent heart, that also I cannot do, nor do I even know it. When he says I don't know, it means I can also not do it. Param jane, but I know param, arthat parantu jane, I know one thing. Mataha, mother, tad anusaranam klesha haranam. I know only one thing. And what is that? That the solution to my kleshas, klesha haranam, the parihara to my kleshas is to do the anusmarana, to do anusarana of you. I'll just follow you. I'll keep searching for you, O mother. And I know that it has already proven as a proof of concept to me in my own life that the kleshas, all the pain, suffering, and these confusions, uh, dilemmas have slowly loosened up. Is the meaning clear? Any questions or other inputs? Please feel free to pitch in, make it a conversation. Let it do not. Now it is on you if it becomes a monologue because I'm giving you so many opportunities to talk. Okay, let's move on. विधेरज्ञानेन द्रविणविरहेणालसतया विधेया शक्यत्वात् तव चरणयोर्याच्युतिरभूत् तदेतत् क्षन्तव्यं जननि सकलोद्धारिणि शिवे कुपुत्रो जायेत क्वचिदपि कुमाता न भवति विधेरज्ञानेन द्रविणविरहेणालसतया विधेया शक्यत्वात् तव चरणयोर्याच्युतिरभूत् तदेतत् क्षन्तव्यं जननि सकलोद्धारिणि शिवे कुपुत्रो जायेत क्वचिदपि कुमाता न भवति. Vani, Arya, would you like to try? Yes, yes, definitely. Hmm. Correct. Vidhehe ajnanena alasataya. Hmm. Hmm. अशक्यत्वात् चरणयोः चरणयोः या च्युतिर अभूत. करेक्ट. च्युत. हम्म. क्षंतव्यम. साधु. The refrain here in the coming verses is something very beautiful. And sometimes he uses the same phrase in different tones. So here he's saying, Kuputraha jayeta kvachit api kumata na bhavati. A bad or a faulty person, a faulty son or a daughter may be born. Kvachit api kumata na bhavati. But there can never be a mother who is in the bhava of being a mother ever at fault. Kumata means one who is kutsita mata, one mother who is not adept to be a mother, or who is a faulty, blemished mother. That is what is kumata. Ku ityukte kutsita. Kutsita mata kvachidapi na bhavati. Nowhere in the world and no time in time would we ever see a bad mother, but perhaps there can always be a bad offspring. So this is the proverb. Kuputro jayeta kvachidapi kumata na bhavati. In the sense, of course, one may raise a question, how is it true, right? We have seen Gandhari, we have seen many mothers who were so because of their smothering affection towards their children, perhaps did not stop them from adharma, or perhaps they pushed them towards adharma, or they themselves were adharmic, right? There are ample instances both from the Itihasa Puranas as well as in today's real lived life as well. So it's not about particularly a female or them being there being not a possibility for a parent to be wrong. But here I would say, in my opinion, the larger sense of matritva can never be corrupted. That is the um, intended meaning, I believe. That because she, Devi, represents not just a mata as in a specific personalized form of the mother, but the motherliness itself. Because there can never be, by definition, a bad mother, right? Because a mother is supposed to nourish, to care for the betterment, and to care for the um, upliftment of the child, in whatever dharmic sense. So, given this to be the definition of a matrutva or a matruvatsalya, there cannot be something which is lesser of this, or something which is which can be faulty in this concept. So, in that understanding, because you, Devi, represent the matritva itself, you have absolutely no scope of and no excuse also to say, no, perhaps I'm a bad mother, I will not look at you, I will not care for you. Because it is impossible for you, who are the very essence of being the mother, to ever not care for your offsprings. So now, and with that refrain, keeping that in mind, let's go through the shloka. Vidhehe ajnanena द्रविण विरहेण आलसतया अथवा अलसतया विधेय अशक्यत्वात् वा तव चरणयोः च्युतिः या अभूत् सा क्षन्तव्या. So what have I done? Hey Shive, hey the female aspect of that Paratattva, Sakala Uddharini, you who always uplift everybody, everything, and every phenomenon around you, Sakalo Uddharini, hey Janani, O mother, please forgive me. Tat etat kshantavyam, please forgive. Apologize, I am apologizing, and please pardon what Chyutihi kshantavyam. The stopping, Chyuti means a hiatus, a stopping. What has stopped? Charanayoho ya chutihi abhut. Or that offspring has broken away from the mother's feet. Because of what? Vidhehe. Because of fate. Ajnanena. Because of my own ignorance. Dravina virahena. Perhaps I did not have sufficient funds in my uh, savings bank account. So, Dravina virahena. Alasataya, or because of my own laziness. Vidheya ashakyatvat, because I lack the capabilities, shakti, to do what is said. Vidheya means something which is ordained. Ashakyatvat, which I cannot do. Because of the incapacity to do what is told, for any of these five reasons, I have disconnected myself from your charana, from your essence. So please forgive me for this break which has come between me and you. So we have broken up, right? The jiva has broken up from the Paramatma, and therefore, please, and he's not blaming the Paratattva. He's saying perhaps it is fate, perhaps it is my own ignorance or circumstances or my own laziness and wealth. I could not do puja to you, and so on and so forth. So please forgive me for all of this, because you look at how carefully he has chosen the Sambodhana Vibhaktis. He says, Janani means first I connect to you directly in the sense of you being my mother. Secondly, because you are the uplifter, you are the Ishwari Shakti. And third is the Shiva Tattva itself, the Shiva Tattva. So you are Yadevi Sarvabhuteshu Madhrurupena Samsthita, and then Daya Rupena Samsthita. And then finally, if you retrace back, You will first see Vishnu Mayeti Shabdita and then Chetanetyabhidhiyate. So all of this, the same Paratattva at different levels of manifestation, um, you know, she is being called differently. This is one interesting observation I had. If any of you have other observations or comments to make, now is the time. Are you all able to appreciate the beauty of this verse? Astu. Any questions? Any of you? Astu. And if you have any questions, please unmute and ask. Prithivyam put. Yeah. Mm, so, I mean, at least coming from Adi Shankaracharya's mouth, he doesn't really differentiate between any of the Matraka Ganas because Advaita is on a very fundamental level. It's the unity of all godly powers. So, yeah, I don't think he is referring particularly to Parvati or particularly to Shiva or anyway. It just represents the divine feminine as one whole unified entity, the Daivi Shakti. Yeah. पृथिव्यां पुत्रास्ते जननि बहवः सन्ति सरलाः परन्तेषां मध्ये विरलतरलोहन्तव सुतः मदीयोऽयन्त्यागः समुचितमिदन्नो तव शिवे कुपुत्रो जायेत क्वचिदपि कुमाता न भवति पृथिव्यां पुत्रास्ते जननि बहवः सन्ति सरलाः परन्तेषां मध्ये विरलतरलोऽहं तव सुतः मदीयोऽयन्त्यागः समुचितमिदन्नो तव शिवे कुपुत्रो जायेत क्वचिदपि कुमाता न भवति पृथिवी वाणी आर्य पृथिव्यां हम्म अयम समुचितम इदम साधु 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 पृथिव्यां पुत्राः ते जननी हे जननी उमदर मातः ते अर्थात तव पुत्राः पृथिव्यां बहवः सन्ति वेरी सिंपल यू हैव मेनी ऑफस्प्रिंग्स ऑन दिस अर्थ कीदृशाः सरलाः पुत्राः सन्ति मेनी ऑफ देम आई मीन देयर आर प्लेंटी ऑफ पीपल plenty. Saralaha, Bahavaha, who are simple. As in, Sarala mean those who are saintly or simple living. Saralaha, Param, Kintu, Tesham Madhye, amidst them, Viralataralaha Aham. Virala ityukte rare. Taralaha ityukte one who is vikshipta, one who is easily distracted or fluctuating, one who is vacillating. Virala taralaha aham tava sutaha. I am your son. Madiyaha ayam tyagaha samuchitamidam. Kim? No tava shive. Some in some Patha Vedas there is the word kim instead of no, which both mean the same. Tava ayam tyagaha madiyaha samuchitam kim or samuchitam na iti. This is the uh, Anvaya. What does it mean? There are so many people on this earth who are saintly, who are good, they are sadhu janas. But amidst all of them, I am this one peculiar, this namuna, peculiar person, one who is vacillating here and there, who is not able to get the focus of your one steady, steadfast devotion. Virala taralaha aham tava sutaha. I am especially vacillating, especially distracted. And so, what must a mother do? A mother must take care of all her offsprings. I am also one of your offspring. I am also one of your children. Now, those people who are already plenty in this world, who are simple living and are easily focused on you, you don't have to take much of them, correct? Who needs attention? If the an obedient child is doing their work, do they need the attention of the mother? No. Who requires the most attention? A person who is not the child who is not listening to the mother, who is not doing what is being told. So I am that person. I am that black sheep of the family. And so I deserve all your attention. But you have done what? You have done my tyaga only. You have given up on me. Right? Then is it samuchitam? Idam, no. This is not right. This is not appropriate, oh mother. Hey Shive. Because if you did this, if you did my tyaga, you would be a kumata. That is what he's implying. You is quite funny, but also it's almost a child complaining to its mother. Uh, for having gone to work for a long time, and when the mother comes back in the evening, first the child goes and immediately hugs the mother, but then the child also beats. At least I have done this. I'm not beat, but at least pull on her, tug on her sari and say, why did you leave me for so long, and so on, right? So this is how we could visualize Shankaracharya praying to Devi, and of course, through him, all of us praying to Devi. That why did you leave me? Why did Paramatma leave me? I'm so distracted by my very nature. So I require most of your attention. Plus, so it is absolutely not appropriate that you have left me in such a situation. And so please come here is the intended subtle meaning. Avagatam Kim? जगन्मातर्मातस्तव चरणसेवा न रचिता न वा दत्तं देवि द्रविणमपि भूयस्तव मया तथापि त्वं स्नेहं मयि निरुपमं यत् प्रकुरुषे कुपुत्रो जायेत क्वचिदपि कुमाता न भवति. अरे Tamam. Jaganmatah, O Mother of the universe, as in she being the Ishwari Shakti, Hey Jaganmatah, Matah, and you, O my own mother, Tava Charana Seva Narachita. Quite clear, right? I did not offer any seva of your charana. I did not massage your feet. I did not do anything at all to you. Nava dattam Devi dravinam api bhuyah tava maya. Tava krite maya dravinam api bhuyah nava dattam. I have not also given you any money. At least, see, there are some offsprings, I mean, some putras who would rather stay back with the parents in their old age and help them out. Or if not in the old age, if the parents are dependent, they would stay back to help them out. That is one kind. At least another kind, that is the Uttama. The Madhyama kind is at least they will provide the money that they are earning, some part of it, to keep an attendant or whatever staff to look after the parent. So these are the two kinds, right? Usually, at least the Uttama and the Madhyama Adhikaris. Similarly, I mean, the Manda Adhikari though has given up on their parents, right? So here he is telling, I am neither the Uttama kind nor the Madhyama kind. I have not even done your seva because I am not as holy a person to have communion with God, where I can actually, like Sri Ramakrishna, talk to you and sit with you, feed you, and so on. Nor even have I said, at least I'll give some part of my tapasya to now and then look at this Paramatma. That is the Dravinam. So I am not capable of either, or I have not done either. So then what? I am now the Mandadhikari. So now what should I do? Tathapi tvam sneham mayi nirupamam yat prakurushe. But still, without me asking, somehow, because of your nirupamam sneham, because of your unmatched uh, nirupamam means that which is anupamam, which without parallel, unparalleled sneha that you show towards me, mayi yat prakurushe, you are actively showing your friendliness and motherliness towards me. This is how you are not any less of a mother, because a kumata can never be born. Perhaps a Kuputra is, we could supposedly find Kuputras in the world, but never a Kumata. And to save yourself of this title of not being a Kumata, perhaps, though I am not a Uttamadhikari or a sorry, a Madhyama, still you are showing me some Sneha. In all, he's trying to say, he's actually doing somewhat a Ninda Stuti, but also rather a direct Stuti that you being the Jagan Mataha, because of your unparalleled compassion. This is very unlike Sita in the Valmiki Ramayana, where the Rakshasis are torturing her. They are poking her, they are threatening her, and they are devastating her mind, her mental peace. Yet, when the time comes, when Trijata says about that of their impending destruction, she, even without them surrendering to her, she readily says, "I'll protect you. Don't worry. I'll give you abhaya." This is very unlike, I mean, not unlike, but it is in stark contrast to the divine masculine, which will not work until it is approached, right? Shiva does not do anything until we go to him and ask for some boons or some bhakti and so on and so forth. That is a very stark contrast we see. Whereas Mother, be it in any tradition actually, is always seen as the first, the pro-initiator. She is the prakriti. Pra means first, pragatam. She prakurushe. She is always ready to take the first step towards us, even if we are at fault, even if we are not capable, even if we have done things wrong, even if we have hurt her. She, the motherliness, is always in such a way that it will always try to protect. And she, being this very personification of it, is indeed doing so to all of us. Clear? Any suggestions, comments, or inputs about this? Feel free to disagree, or if you have a different perspective. जगन्मातर्मातस्तव चरणसेवा न रचिता न वा दत्तं देवि द्रविणमपि भूयस्तव मया तथापि त्वं स्नेहं मयि निरुपमं यत् प्रकुरुषे कुपुत्रो जायेत क्वचिदपि कुमाता न भवति परित्यक्ता देवान् वि परित्यक्त्वा देवान् विविध विध सेवा कुलतया मया पञ्चाशीतेरधिकमपनीते तु वयसि इदानीं चेन्मातस्तव यदि कृपा नापि भविता निरालम्बो लम्बोदरजननि कैयामि शरणम् परित्यक्त्वा देवान् विविधविधिसेवाकुलतया मया पञ्चाशीतेरधिकमपनीते तु वयसि इदानीं चेन्मातस्तव यदि कृपालापि भविता निरालम्बो लम्बोदरजननि कम्यामि शरणम् वाणी आ रही है आकुलतया अशीतेः पंचाशीतेः मीन्स 85 now because you have absorbed the ma to the previous pada it will only be left with a so adhikam apanite इदानीं चेत् मातः sadhu. So now in some pathas, patha beda is there, which is parityakta. Instead of that is tyaktva. Both perhaps can be absorbed into the anvaya. Anyhow, I will take parityaktva. Having given up on the devas, devan parityaktva vividha vidhi seva akulataya, because it is creating in me anxiety. Akula is anxiousness, anxiety of what? Because they demand different kinds of seva. Vividha and then vidhi seva. Vidhi means injunctions. There are different, various myriad injunctions of how to do their seva. Indra wants it some way, Vishnu wants it some other way, Shiva wants it somewhere else, Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, Surya, and all of these people want somewhere somehow else. No, all of them demand a certain way of worship. And so it is creating in me akulata because I am not as capable or as meticulous to do all of those things. So devan parityaktva, I have given up on devas. And then what did I do? Maya panchashitehe adhikam apanite vayasi. Now I have reached an 85 plus super senior citizen. I have become a super senior citizen of my country. I hardly get some other benefits, bus 5 rupees extra and here and there. But I'm mostly in my home because of my arogya. So I don't even need to, I mean, I don't really benefit from any of these schemes. So I am now 85 plus and nobody else is there. My children have left me, my wife or my husband has died. I am somehow just hanging by a thread. Maya panchashitehe adhikam. And I have spent more than 85 years of my entire lifespan already having been just bogged down by the anxieties of doing the seva of different devatas, hodgepodge here and there, a little bit khichdi I've done of all the devatas, or even if it is of one devata, I have not even done that properly. I have done here and there this seva, a little bit of that kainkarya, and so on. And so I am now idanim chen mataha tava yadi kripa napi bhavita kam yami sharanam. Then who will I go as my refuge? Who will I take refuge at this age? At least if I were young, I would somehow at least approach a king or some orphanage or some old age home and so, maybe a hospice and do something about my Sharanagati. Or perhaps I would put in my own effort and try to be self-sufficient. But now, with such senescence setting in, who will I go to? Because all the devas they have all left either me or I have left them, right? They may have left me because they were not happy with the seva I did, or I myself left them because of the akulata of doing their seva. And now, tavad yadi kripa napi bhavita, if even you stop showing your kripa on me, chet, idanim chet, if this happens now, at this stage, O mother, niralambaha bhavami. I will become niralamba. I will be absolutely without any support at all, neither of this world nor of the other world. Na iha, na param. Niralambaha, he lambodara janani. It's a beautiful alliteration here. Lambo, lambodara janani. Niralambo, lambodara janani. Kam yami sharanam. O mother, who birthed even Lambodara himself, who shall I go as a Sharana to? Who will I seek refuge in? I shouldn't go to another country illegally, right? Even if I did that, they would somehow kick me out, or somehow still people of my own community or another community would still harm me in many ways. Or if time, which is Kala, death itself would approach me, disease would approach me. Then who shall I go Sharanagati to? Who shall I do Sharanagati to? You who are the mother of all Lambodara and other such devatas, if you also stop showing compassion on me, I will be absolutely alone. Meaning, please do not leave me. That is the request. परित्यक्ता देवान् विविधविधिसेवाकुलतया मया पञ्चाशीतेरधिकमपनीते तु वयसि इदानीं चेन्मातस्तव यदि कृपा नापि भविता निरालम्बो लम्बोदरजननि कम्यामि शरणम् श्वपाको जल्पाको भवति मधुपाकोपमगिरा निरातङ्को रङ्को विहरति चिरङ्कोटिकनकैः तवापर्णे कर्णे विशति मनुवर्णे फलमिदम् जनः को जानीते जननि जपनीयं जपविधौ. In interest of time, I will myself do the Padacheda for this. Shwapakaha jalpakaha bhavati. Madhupaka upamagira jalpakaha bhavati. Niratankaha rankaha chiram koti kanakaihi viharati. Tava aparne karne vishati manuvarne phalam idam janah ko janite Janani Japaniyam Japa Vidhau. Mother, the extent of your compassion is being described here. Shwapakaha, a person who is a Shwapaka, means one who eats dogs. Not Chinese, but it could mean any scoundrel of society, any outcast of society. Madhupaka upamagira jalpakah bhavati. As in those times, the these people who were dacoits, traitors, or some outcasts of society for whatever sins they have committed, very grave blunders. So they were just left to fend for themselves. That is why the name Shwapaka, in a general context, means those who had to fend for themselves with absolutely no aid from society. So they had to depend on their own, no tribe, nothing, right? So they used to supposedly eat dogs because that was the only food they could find. And it could also mean a person, because dogs are supposed to be, a dog's best friend, right? A Shwapaka would mean you are so ruthless, you are so uncaring, and you are in such a desperate situation that you would actually even go to an almost extent of cannibalizing, because, eating pets is somehow very disgusting to us, right? Uh, People don't understand. I mean, they just make fun of us saying, why do we not eat go meat and so on, right? It would be equivalent in their cultures to saying, eat your own cat, eat your own dog, right? Because for us, gau, shunaka, and all these cattle were a part of the family itself. So it was as disastrous and as disgusting, and how far a thought it would be in our minds to go and cook these pets up and eat. There is one social argument you can give. Anyhow, Shwapaka are such people. They would usually be barred also from society and therefore also from education. And they would not know much how to speak and so on. Even such a person, if your grace were to fall on him, or if he were to do even one mantra japa, one nama ucharana of yours, jalpakah bhavati. He will become such a great orator. Jalpaka is a slightly derogatory term. It just means a person who speaks and speaks a lot. Shwapakas used to not really speak much because they didn't really have much education. They used to just almost uncivilized, almost hunter-gathererish people they were. They can also become jalpakas and start speaking madhupaka upamagira, as though their words are candies, sweet candies, madhupaka, like jamun or rasagulla. All their words become so flowery and ornate because of your grace. Niratankaha rankaha chiram koti kanakaihi viharati. And a ranka, beggar, who is niratanka, koti kanakaihi niratankaha chiram viharati. So a beggar who is always in atanka of his next meal, of his next place, of his next cloth, will immediately be bestowed with koti kanaka, with crores of golden coins for a long time. Chiram niratankaha viharati. He will walk the earth for a long lifetime with great longevity, being niratanka, being completely anxious, without anxiety, without concern for his next meal. Meaning he will have such opulence because of your grace. When tava karne manuvarne vishati. When will this happen? If into your ears, O mother, even one syllable, varna is one syllable of the manu means mantra. Even if they chant the mantra, try to chant the mantra, and only one syllable of it falls into your ears, this will be the phala. This will be the phala, the consequence that you bestow, the fruit that you give unto them. O Aparne, hey Aparna Devi, meaning you will not even wait for them to utter the entire mantra. You will just wait for that one syllable to fall on your ears, and immediately you will take care of them and bring them out of their miseries. Janaha ko janite, then what will, which jana, which person can imagine? Kaha janite, janani japaniyam japavidhau. Japavidhau japaniyam, japavidhau means if the entire japa were to be done, vidhau sati, japa vidhau sati, this is a sati saptami prayoga. If the entire japa vidhana were to be done, japaniyam chet, tarhi kim bhavet, then what would be the phala of it? As in, for a varna, for one syllable of your mantra itself, if you would can bestow all of this, then imagine the fruits, the benefits a person would gain by your complete mantra ucharana. And if you were to if you were to hear the entire mantra, that is the intended meaning. This is a very significant mantra also yogically, because Manuvarne could also mean just one syllable, and usually the one syllabled mantras are the bija mantras. So it talks indirectly of the significance, the power of the bija mantras. Forget the entire mantra. Forget the panchakshari, panchadashakshari, shodashakshari, or ashtakshari, all this. Just do one mantra. And in that one mantra, do one syllable, which is the bija. And that is more than sufficient, is the implied meaning of this mantra, this shloka. Clear? कः कश्चन प्रश्नो अस्ति किम्? No, Om itself is a bija mantra, right? It is it's called the pranava. So it's a single Om, Hrim, or any of these single mantras itself, which are independent mantras, though being only one syllable, and perhaps many a times they may not have literal meaning, right? They are just sounds. So that itself is as powerful, is one interpretation of this shloka. Dhanyavad. Okay, we will just do one more shloka and stop for today. This is a very beautiful poetic shloka. Mm. Again, a very classic instance of a nindastuti or a vakrokti. चिताभस्मालेपो गरलमशनं दिक्पटधरो जटाधारी कंठे भुजगपतिहारी पशुपतिः कपाली भूतेशो भजति जगदीशैकपदवीं भवानी त्वत्पाणिग्रहणपरिपाटी फलमिदम् चिताभस्मालेपो गरलमशनन्दिक्पटधरो जटाधारी कंठे भुजगपतिहारी पशुपतिः कपाली भूतेशो भजति जगदीशैकपदवीं भवानि त्वत्पाणिग्रहणपरिपाटी फलमिदम् चिता भस्मा लेपः भस्म आलेपः गरलम अशनम दिक्पटधरः जटाधारी कंठे भुजगपतिहारी पशुपतिः कपाली भूतेशः भजति जगद ईश एक पदवीं भवानी त्वत् पाणिग्रहण परिपाटी phalam idam. Now, what is Adi Shankaracharya telling here in this verse is, he is in, this is an example of a classic alankara in Samskrita called as vakrokti, where you are taking the direction of the conversation one way, but then there is a sudden twist, right? So if you just look at it word by word, Chita Bhasma Lepaha. So he is talking about Bhuteshaha, which is Shiva. He's saying, Eshaha Chita Bhasma Lepaha. He just wears the Chita Bhasma, the ashes from the crematorium. Chita Bhasma Alepaha. Garalam Ashanam. He has nothing to drink. He'll just drink poison. Dik Patadharaha. He wears the entire the Disha itself as his drapes, which means he's basically naked. Jatadhari. He has mats. He doesn't even have the time nor the inclination to comb his hair well and take a good bath. Kanthe bhujaga patihari. In his kantha, he has no ornaments. He has such dearth of ornaments that he has to pull up a vasuki from the Netherlands and wear it around his kantha. And this is such as, and he, what does he do? What is his occupation? He's Pashupati. He cares for the Pashus of the world. Kapali, and he doesn't even have a begging bowl, a proper steel, aluminum foil, whatever begging bowl. He uses the skull from one of the Rakshasa he had killed as the, and sorry, actually Brahma, the Brahma Kapala, as his begging bowl. And Bhutesha, this is the state of this Bhutesha, of this Shiva. But then Bhajati Jagad Isha Eka Padavim, he suddenly became the Jagadisha, right? He occupied immediately, so a sudden jump from the state of being Bhutesha to Jagadisha. How did this happen? Bhavani, hey Parvati, Twat Pani Grahana Paripati Phalamidam. Usually what happens is um, through marriage, the king, or any, not even just king, any person, in fact, the male, used to be given all these gifts from marriage. And even after the marriage, whenever the son-in-law used to come, he would be showered with so much love, care, and affection. For whatever reason, it still happens today. And similarly, during the marriage, during the wedding, usually he is given many gifts. Paripati is those gifts which particularly come from the in-laws, right? And uh, Paripati can also mean as a result, as a consequence of Tvat Pani Grahanam, because he took you in marriage, or perhaps because you took him in marriage, you held his hand and he held yours. Immediately he became the Pati of Jagat, because you are Jagat Janani, because you are Bhavani. He immediately also rose to the level of Jagadisha. Phalam idam, which means just your grace, your uh, proximity itself was enough to turn such a Vairagi into the Jagadisha itself. So this is at the same time, in a way, insulting Shiva, but it's in a good vein, because each of these incidents, why he put the bhasma again, is a praise of him killing a certain asura, drinking the poison is another story, and so on and so forth. So this is also an example of a ninda stuti. All in all, Bhavani, your anugraha is more than sufficient, which even raises gods to great statuses. That is the intended meaning. We will stop here because we have another class in a particular room I'm sitting in. Dhanyavadah. I'll address any questions in the next class. Dhanyavadah. Namaskar.